Hello, creators. Welcome back. This is the beginning of Project 3. And this time I decided that I was going to create all the bins and pull all the assets in, mainly because I think it's just going to be easier for everyone. Last lesson you were able to create your own bins and pull the media down from OneDrive, but I think it was wonky for a lot of people. So I'm going to make this one a little bit easier. So you should be able to now have the project DRA file down from OneDrive, and here's mine right here. So I'm just going to open that up. And here's what I mean. I've created 3 bins: videos, sound effects, and music beds, and I've put everything there. So you should find all of these things. You shouldn't have to go looking for them. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier, like I said. So what we are going to do is I'm going to ask you to come into the video bin, and in this area, right-click and create a new timeline using selected bin. And now we're going to name this timeline, and of course we'll call it Project 3 timeline. And at this point I can say how many video tracks and how many audio tracks I want created. So I am going to go ahead and go in here. I think I'll put 3. I can always add more, and I think I'll put in the audio track like 5. And I'm going to keep all these settings default the way they are, and I'm going to hit create. Okay, so we could have started dragging video files over here and created them that way, but I just want you to see that sometimes it's just more efficient or easier to create your own timeline, and then everything kind of plops down right into the timeline in the relative order that it's here. Now we can move this stuff around. We're going to obviously put sound effects files in there. We have the audio tracks already built, and the same thing with the music beds. We can choose these and put music or sound effects on there. So I'm going to close the media pool, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit using Command equal key. And I'm going to see that this particular clip does have sound on it, but I think I've already silenced that sound, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think I got rid of that sound. And all of these other clips as well have no sound associated with them. I pulled them down off the Adobe stock website, and there's a little campfire scene. Then we have this camera shutter type lens clicking. Well, I can imagine that it's clicking. And we've got these nice geese, I assume, flying through the air as the cat is watching them. A nice little clip there. I've got this one here of the desert, and then the door opening, clacking on keys, and then we've got our Minecraft guy, we've got a car, and we've got 2 tennis players with I think it's like 1 or 2 volleys here. So we're going to create a soundscape using these. Not really a contiguous story, and I don't need it to be. I don't intend it to be. You are free to pull in your own files if you wish to, if you want to be creative, or you could just follow along and do what I'm doing in this video, and it's fine. I'll close the mixer as well. I'm just going to mute that track here. And I'm going to go back into the media pool and go into sound effects. And here we have some birds chirping. As I scrub across that, it's sampling it. That's very interesting. Let's see what he's actually doing here. Okay. So I think I might pull this one in. Let's do that. Let's put this guy down here. And now I'll zoom in a little bit more. And I'm going to go into Fairlight at this point. And I'm going to want to see that monitor. So I'm going to go over here to meters, and I will get this monitor here so that I can see what I'm doing with the audio and reference the video. Just zoom in a little bit. Actually, I dropped it right on the right spot. And it looks like he did it again right there. So I could make a marker there. I'm just going to create another one by coming in here, hovering over here, and it turns into the arrow. I'm going to left click and hold the Option key and drag out another one. See how that works. Yeah, I like it. It looks like he just does that a couple more times. Actually, he does a little bit more chirping there. You can pull this right out, by the way. You can create a floating window by hovering over there. Now that went on to my other monitor, so you didn't see that happen, but I'm dragging it back to this monitor. So now I can kind of resize this monitor and get it up out of the way. Maybe I'll put it over these meters here, and then that'll help me. All right, he does a little bit more right there, but I think I'm going to actually use one of the other chirps for that. So I'm going to pull this one in and drop it there. See if I'm in the right spot. Yeah, right there. Boy, I'm lucky. Okay, so did I miss one? Yeah, it looks like he does it again there. So I think I'll do the same thing, and I'll pull this one over. So I get a little variety. Again, I'm going to hover over this file, hit the Option key, left click on it, and drag it out. And I think it's somewhere right around there. Now I got to move the viewer out of the way. I think I missed it. Yeah. It's back here. You really can't see him. He's turning his head, but there we go. Yeah, there we go. So I could do some other things here if I wanted to. I think that's a good place to just start and then move into the next segment. So I'm actually going to pull this and put it back into its dock. So if you hover over this little symbol here, it says dock window. Now it's back in here. And I can make some adjustments here. I can make it a little bit bigger and get rid of some of this other stuff. But now we have the camera mechanism. And I kind of like that little shot. I like the way it's moving and changing the rotation angle and then zooming in like that. So there's a couple of things we could do here. And this is where you start to use your imagination. This is where you say, well, it could be making a many different sounds here, and there could be a music bed associated with this too, especially where it zooms in like that. So let's see if we can go back into SFX and determine where I put that as keyboard. There's tennis match servo motor. I think that's it. Let's sample that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's grab this guy and put him in here. Oops. Here's a teachable moment. I put it in the audio track that I have muted there. So we're going to drop it down here. Should be okay. And that works great. I did not plan that. I swear I did not plan that. And you can see all kinds of activity here because we got our meters open, and you can see that maybe there might need to be a volume adjustment there. I could go into the mixer at this point, and I could see that as well. I'm actually happy with that. So, but I want to do a little bit more here. I want to do something with that zoom in there. I want to make that a little bit more dramatic. So I'm going to go into music beds, and let's see, what do we have here? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to stay here. I think it's in here. What is this? Ooh, that's loud. Sorry about that. That's the automobile. Oh, I do have a click in there. Let me pull the click in. Maybe I can use that too. I think I'll put that click right at the very beginning. Yeah. Okay, and music bed. I'm not sure I did get something I wanted for that, but let's put this in here and see what we get here. And I'm going to tell you right away that that's too loud, so I'm just going to drop that down the easy way. All right. What do we got on the end of that? Yeah, you know what? Let's take this, and we're going to come to this side when it turns into the bracket, or the hinge-like bracket with the arrow pointing to the left, and drag it this way. I only want that little last bit there. Now I'm going to pull it back somewhere around there and zoom in. I like that. Okay, so why don't we pull this all the way back to where that clip starts, and we're going to fade that in with a very simple crossfade. I think it needs to go this way just a tad. So let's try that again. We'll leave that there. That's fine. This is going better than I'd hoped.